Nah, man.
Do we hope for Frank Lampard to do something amazing with this Chelsea team? But
do you understand? Do you understand the idolization? Like, it's a poetic
of course I
moment in
understand
the
it.
world of soccer. That man would be immortalized in the game
City
itself.
fans love Lampard.
He would be immortalized in the game itself to come back and save a club like that. That's history. Like, this has the moment. This is the messy moment for Chelsea. Like,
But
this is
he would create the most difficult thing for them because he's not their long-term manager, and they would have to let him go.
He would.
And how do you justify?
There's precedent. When the champs get fired.
No. Yep.
No, but
he knows.
not Frank Lampard.
He knows. He knows, though. He knows. He has.
But not Frank Lampard.
But he knows what's going on. He knows it's a 9-game appointment.
Yeah, he knows.
And I agree with that. But the thing about it is we're looking at Frank. I find it hard to believe, even with him knowing. Again, I hear you, but I find he's not Di Matteo. He's not any of those guys. He's Frank Lampard, Chelsea legend. If he takes them, and just think about the path he'd have to go. You got to beat Real Madrid, then you have to beat City or Bayern, and then you got to beat probably Napoli. Right? So you're looking at that. Look at what that. I mean, those are some buzzsaws you got to run through. And if he runs the gamut with that, you think that's not enough for him to say, "Hey, look what I just did." And I mean, it'll be. And the thing about it, but it actually goes to the point I made about better team, right? Because I'm not knocking Chelsea, but Chelsea's not better than any of those teams that I just talked about. And so if they're able to beat all of them, and Pep Guardiola said it, like the Champions League is about is like a 7-series tournament. That's different than 38 games, which is why I'm giving Arsenal their credit for where they are.
100%.
But whereas in the Champions League, you just got to get hot. You get hot, and that's it. And so if Frank Lampard is able to win something like that in that period, I mean, I would find it hard with an American manager who understands the lore and the money for him to be like, hey, no, get rid of him. There's no way he gets rid of him. I put money. I don't bet on things. If Lampard won the Champions League, which I don't think is going to happen, but if he did, there's no way they fire him. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Segues are weird.
Yeah.
Chelsea have tied Liverpool 0-0 in midweek, and we've got new manager. We've got new hopes. Xavier has got new delusions, I might say.
I'm buzzing, bro. I'm buzzing.
If you're into delusions of grandeur, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and get the notification bell on. So let's start with the Liverpool game. What do we think?
I thought it was a great way to not let that get out of hand.
It's the 5th straight 0-0 in that fixture.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
I think it's over 600 minutes now that there hasn't been a goal between the two.
The disallowed one, and like I said it again,
twice.
Kai Havertz can only score when the goal does not count.
Yeah.
Period. I don't think he'll start under the new system. I don't, but we'll get back. We'll stay on track on the Liverpool game.
I think didn't I call a draw, Jake? I called a draw, right?
I can look.
I think I called
absolutely.
It. I'm pretty sure I called a draw. I didn't think it was a 0-0 draw.
You called it. You called it 2-2.
I called it. I thought it would be a draw, but I didn't think.
2-2.
I thought they would score.
Well,
no.
Well, I mean, it was an entertaining game despite being a 0-0.
Well, I did too. I thought it was a great way, like I said, to not let it get out of hand. And when I was watching the game, I felt like it was very much so open. Like both teams could have capitalized on some major mistakes that you wouldn't expect to see in both of these squads.
This season, y'all are both mistake riddled.
riddled with mistakes. It was good to see Darwin Noodles not be able to hit the broadside of a barn. Thank God.
Well, I mean, he had a spell. He had his. Yeah. I mean, he does have some goals and assists this season.
Right.
The stats aren't too bad. But what did we think of the formation being the same, the lineup being the same?
Well, I think he literally just said, go out there and don't embarrass, like, don't
embarrass yourselves, because it's not on me anymore. It's
not on me, right? It's not on. Like, I am literally here for a game. My man's never fielded a team before.
It was
he
that
literally walked into the
right?
locker room. Yeah,
What was his name?
Bruno Salter.
Bruno.
And he's like the forwards coach or something. Is he the actual assistant? Because didn't you tell me that all of Potter's staff stayed, or did they go
Well,
with him?
now they're leaving.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Frankie's bringing in, like, there's rumors of Ashley Cole coming in. There's that rumor coming back. There's rumors of who was his appointee for his forwards coach. He's coming
Nick
back too.
Jones or something, if I remember right.
Yep.
I have a question about Mudryk. So, do you think that, and I'm just skipping the Liverpool game, but not projecting, but thinking about the Liverpool game because I know we got subbed on. Do you think his development will be better with Lampard there? Because he started with such a fire, and and now it's gone. It's all gone.
Every person on that club now is in how Frank Lampard's going to look at this, and how I think, because Frank Lampard is he is a player, or he is a manager mirrored after how he played. The way soccer and football was when he was in the locker room. You fight for your spot, you honor the club, you go out there and you represent yourself. You don't show up late for practice. He's not going to treat them like prima donnas like Potter did. There's no more corporate, hey, let's go have a team building exercise where we do trust falls in the water and have the day off. That's gone. And people like Mudryk thrive under that because that was his whole thing. He had a work ethic. He had a fire. He never stopped working. He's the first.
You think
one
it was
on the
confidence
He's the
for
last one off.
Mudryk after that?
After 100%.
Poor performance.
How do you walk into a club who's lost 18 straight games and have any shred of confidence about yourself, let alone the jersey you're putting on? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. This is 100% on the owners. I'm glad they finally did something. But the Liverpool game is just an indicative of what that's exactly what had been going on at the club for months beforehand. And it was mediocrity. It's okay to be mediocre. It's okay to tie games. It's okay to not give your all. And Mudryk isn't a player that thrives under that. You have to look at his mentality and his work ethic and even his own press conferences and what he said to the media. And he's in his tattoos. Like, he wears it. He is a workhorse. He's first one on, last one off. And that when you give your players days off like Potter did, it just makes it hard, I think, for him. I do.
What I wanted to say about this was, one, I would have started Mudryk up top in this one. I thought that this was, especially with the way Liverpool was playing it, that this was a great opportunity for him to do something.
They're less refined than we would hope they'd be, right? And so it's just interesting because you see, that's why, like, for example, I called it a 2-2 because I thought, Liverpool would be coming and Chelsea would be coming, and
they could have.
I was expecting, and that's not what I saw.
What were you saying, Patrick?
Well, I was saying I thought this was a match that Mudryk should have started up top because of the way Liverpool plays. He would have had plenty of chances, first off, but also he would have had the space to run. And that's a lot of when we have seen him, he hasn't had that space to run. It's been either against like a loaded box, or it's been against a team that doesn't have to respect Cucurella as a wing back, and so as a result, he's had no space. He's had nobody to play the ball to. So I would have started him up front. But that said, it was funny. I was reading people's feedback after the game. They were talking about how it was just awful and it was one of the worst matches of the season. And I'm like, I understand there was no goals. I get that. But there was nothing awful about that game. It was open. I mean, like I said in our group chat, if Chelsea had a striker, we were up 4-0.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Which, can't wait. I cannot wait. Cannot wait for Kai to get the axe. Can't wait. Cannot wait.
Bless you.
Yeah. You think that Mount might?
Yes, Mount goes back in the squad finally
from Lampard.
Yo, absolutely. Mason Mount is Frank Lampard. to Frank Lampard.
You
Yeah,
think
he
so?
brought him up from the academy. He started him in all those games. He made Mason Mount what Mason Mount is today. Tuchel showed the world what Mason Mount had because Frank Lampard called him up to the squad and said, "Hey, we need this inside of this core group. Mason Mount will be the midfield. He'll be the creator. He'll play the 10." Tuchel did it, and as soon and towards the end of Tuchel, even because of the injuries that we had, Mason Mount can't. And this is the saddest thing I have to come to the realization about Mason Mount for me. Mason Mount is very much so Mesut Ozil-esque. If you do not set up your squad to not allow that man to work outside of his bubble, he's fine. He can play the ball. He can see the passes. He's fine. As soon as you make him work for the defensively or come back and track into your half of the field, either in the 50 or if he has to come back into your third, it's just like Jorginho, lost puppy. But Frank did that. Frank knew that. Frank played him right. Tuchel played him right. Potter couldn't play him right for 5 games, and he sat the bench. We haven't seen him since because, again, I'd be upset too if I was Mason Mount, man.
Yeah.
He stole my club, and now you've given him a shred of his club back. Are you kidding me? He's going to play like a monster, which I'm excited for because he's a champ. Like, he thrives in the Champions League, and so does Kai. I don't want to see Kai on a Chelsea pitch ever again, though. I don't. I'm done.
So looking ahead, go ahead, Lewis.
Well, no, my question was looking at 2 teams, the historic teams, Chelsea and Liverpool. Do either one of them make a push towards? Well, I mean, I got to say Europa. I'm not going to be fake and say they're going to make Champions League, but Europa. Do either one of them make a push for it?
It's one of us. It's either or. I do think it's one of us.
I don't think so.
I disagree completely. Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah, I think after watching both of them, there's so many problems with both clubs, and honestly, Liverpool should not have the problems that they have right now. Liverpool's only 3 points out of Europa, but Villa's on a run. You've got Brentford, and of course Brighton, and of course Tottenham is going to come down too. So I don't think so.
They're 1 point out of Europa. Right? No, it's 5th and 6th. Yeah, you're right.
It's 5th and 6th. Yeah.
They're 3 points. Yeah.
So I don't think so. I think that just watching that Liverpool team, and I know that Klopp was trying to rest some guys, but I mean he still threw out a pretty strong lineup, and it sounds stupid, but this was an opportunity missed by Chelsea because there were so many opportunities to win this game, and they didn't. And that's why I said in the chat, it's going to suck when this ends up being a 1-0 for Liverpool because they brought Salah on and they brought on Gakpo and
There's something made a lot more.
When the commentator said that he thought they were aiming for somebody in the stands, I was like, they are totally listening to the podcast.
C19, bro.
He's talking about that. He's aiming for the guy in Rosette up there or something. He said something.
Yeah.
If he would have said C19, I'd have lost it. He'd be like, "Yo, he's aiming for the guy up in C19." I would have lost it.
Oh goodness gracious! Yeah,
but
you got to put that copyright on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nailed it.
But I mean, that's
Too
the
soon?
thing. Like, I watched this Liverpool team, and they're not good. They're not. And what's crazy is they went and they smashed United, and they haven't looked the same since.
Yeah.
They look horrible.
That's all they needed. That was their trophy, man. That's all they
season. I can only hope.
Ruin Manchester United season. We'll take it to the bank.
So looking forward for. Go ahead, Lewis.
For Arsenal, I was saying, well, Arsenal was hoping that they're not good either because they do. If they show up in this next one, I think Jake will have a different feeling about that.
Yeah. Well, before we get to that, Chelsea go to Molineux on Saturday, I do believe it is. And again, who's gonna pick a Wolves score? Because I haven't been able to do that all season long, or at least the last couple of weeks. They've definitely been my enigma team, as I've been saying. What do we see from Frank? Is it the same wing back kind of system? Is it back to a 4-4-3? What Conte's definitely got to play.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
definitely.
Start.
He might have been
Start.
man of the match.
He looked fantastic. He had some heavy touches, but other than that, he looked really, really
Well, after
good.
being out for 24 years with the knee, with his injuries, and coming back after a 24-year injury, I feel like he's right.
I think Frank is seeing this, and I'm a mixed bag on this. I don't think Frank comes in and just takes the sledgehammer to the system and goes dismantle everything. But it's almost what needs to happen because it is bad. It's bad news bears the way we've been playing. I do think Frank puts his spin on it and slowly converts this back into he's going to have a back four. He's going to play the wing backs off the front, but there's going to be less of that rotation where Cucurella and Chilwell are kind of playing the same position in certain transition moments. And now you have two players where you don't need two bodies. One man should be able to, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be less babysitting. Like Cucurella is either going to have to step up or we can't. Chilwell's just going to play left back.
Yeah, I think
two
Cuckoo
center
hits
back.
the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, I think two center backs. Chilwell gets shifted out. Reece James plays on the right. That way, Chilwell has no choice but to feed Mudryk on
Some
that
classic,
side.
some classic Ashley Cole left back.
Yeah.
Reece
We
James.
looked so terrible with the back four, like horrible with a back four.
Silva and Koulibaly should be able to play together, and if they can't, we have Chalobah and Badiashile, which Frank does not have a problem playing young players at all. He will sit somebody. I don't think he sits Thiago Silva because I think he respects that man more so to sit him than he does. I think that relationship actually bolsters that. Thiago needs to be in the club. He needs to be considered a leader in the club. I understand that he's injury riddled this season, and we're not necessarily saving him for those Champion League games because we need him there. But Koulibaly, if he's going to be that issue, Badiashile will play. Like Badiashile will play he'll play Badiashile and Chilabola. Like he does not care about how he plays, but he has a system that he ran at Chelsea. Is a system that he knows. I think the midfield goes back to a 4. That way we have a creator. And you have two designated forwards where Kai and Felix don't have to come back into the midfield and play.
You think he's playing a 4-4-2?
I do. I think he goes classic.
Way back. Did he do that when he was there last time?
He played Tammy up top by himself last time a lot, but Tammy had the prowess to do so because Tammy can outrun you and he's flightier. Yeah, he can get up to the ball a little bit more, which is why that's why he bagged the goals he did. Kai's not going to do either one of those. Fofana might if he starts him, but that goes to say I don't know if Fofana's completely healthy either.
Right.
Like 2 weeks ago, he still was on the injury list. And João Felix isn't that guy. So you either play Mount and Felix together or you sit Mount. Felix has to play with Conte. And then
I want to ask you all a question about João Felix. Where's his left foot at? Did he leave that in Portugal? Like where
he left it? Yeah.
Where is that at? Because
Potter only trains on your dominant foot because that's what you're good at, and we only do what we're good at, right, guys? That way you can feel good about yourself.
If he would have taken that one chance with his left foot, I mean, you have to score. He's definitely going to score.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can say the same about Kai. Kai hesitates to turn a
So
ball.
do we think they're taking chances at Molineux? What's your prediction, X? We'll go ahead and get into it.
2-0. We're just gonna maybe 3.
Okay. Is it 2 or is it 3? Let's hear.
I'm gonna say 2 with a hopefulness of 3. But that's what I'm saying. I think this breathes a complete new life into the squad. The players have you have to respect Frank for what he did. If all else, if you don't respect him as a manager, Potter wasn't a player. You have to respect him, at least on what the stat line says. So, hey, this is how you run a midfield because I did it. I have the most goals in the Premier League as a midfielder. How are you going to argue against that? It's just, respect me or sit the bench. And he has that mentality and he'll do it. Potter wouldn't. Frank will, which is why I think it's a new life. It's a new club. 2-0. We're going to come out hot against the Wolves.
Diego Costa doesn't get one against Chelsea. Some poetic.
No,
just for the
Diego takes a red for Frankie. Yeah.
Absolutely. What are we thinking, Patrick?
What I picked.
Or whoever.
You can go, Lewis.
Well, this will probably be my last one for now. But for my segment being involved, but I can't remember. What did I say, Jake? Because I can't see my thing. I think I picked Chelsea to win, though. Pretty sure I did.
I'm looking it up right quick. Yeah.
I'm excited.
I think I picked Chelsea.
I'm excited.
I think it was like 2-1.
Wait.
Good grief. Who texts so much in our group chat? This is ridiculous.
Ridiculous, guys. You know you can like search it.
Goodness gracious. I can't find it.
Here, I'll find it.
Go.
Am I in the wrong chat?
That would be hilarious.
Yep.
Did you see it? What did I get? What did I say?
Okay, you've got City 2-0. I mean, City. Goodness gracious, Chelsea 2-0.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
2-0, baby.
I think it's the new manager bounce. I don't know what the formation will be, but I think the boys will be excited to play for Frank, and I think that'll be enough. I think he will. He's a scorer, and I think he gets people to score, and so
Nice.
I like Frankie. I mean, he played for City a little bit, and so City
Won
fans
you a
appreciate
game
him.
against Chelsea.
He did.
Oh yeah, that
Pulled
did.
3
hurt.
points off.
And he did that.
us,
Oh,
yeah.
well, my battery's
With a
about to
game
die
winner.
too. So if it cuts me off, that's why. But
No, you're fine.
yes, that's how I picked Chelsea.
Can't wait. Cannot
Chelsea.
wait.
2-0.
Chelsea
2-0.
2-0.
I hate this because I'm going 2-0 as well.
Goodness.
I think that I do think there is a new manager bounce. I am worried a little bit because the thing is I was reading about the first time Frank was with Chelsea, and the issue with him then was defense. Couldn't play defense. Defense was terrible. I think we've got the talent right now that it's going to be okay, but I'm still really concerned if he is go to 4 in the back because it's just been so horrible this year. Like I can't stress enough how bad it's been when we play 4 at the back.
We have Kelsey back playing CDM now too, though. He takes
True,
a lot of that. Takes
true.
a lot of that pressure off those two.
That's
center
true.
backs.
That's true.
Because he's not going to play a classic forward too. He'll play that CDM role with the 9 kind of playing by himself, like
Yeah.
Tammy. But go ahead, Ty.
I think I think we do see some of the lineup shook up. One, because you got Champions League next week, so he's going to try to get he maybe knows, like we'll just say Mason. He knows what he's going to get with Mason Mount. So maybe he doesn't actually start. Maybe he comes on as a sub because he already knows what he's getting there. Maybe we see a Meta. Let's see, Metawiki's not on the squad. Maybe we see Ziyech again. Maybe
Pulisic?
we see Pulisic. I think though. I think that you're going to have to play Mudryk. I think that he's going to have a little bit of space to run in this one. I'm interested to see who he plays up top. Someone did a one of the papers I read. Someone did a projected starting lineup, and it had Aubameyang up top, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that one, Frank. That happened.
Frankie likes a 9. Frankie likes a 9.
I'll be so shocked.
I mean, he did get 15 goals out of Tammy Abraham. So, I mean, I think we'll find some scoring. I don't think it's going to be pretty, though. I think there's just everything's just so clunky right now. But I think we find a way to win. There'll be some happy faces at the bridge.
The fans will finally be at the bridge. For the last 6 months, we haven't had the fans on board at the bridge. There is not a fan in the world of this club right now that you cannot not be on board with this. Right. You have to jump on board. You cannot crucify Frank Lampard. This is what Lewis is getting at. You can't crucify Frank Lampard. He's got 9 games. He has nothing to lose. He can lose all 9. Still be a club legend. We're still going to love him. We're still going to take him to the bank. You're still going to find jersey sales flying off the shelf with Frank Lampard because he's a club legend. If he goes out and wins these 9 games, takes us to a deep run in the Champions League, absolute club legend. He saved the club. Now you have this whole rhetoric for him. He can go on and save his own career because this whole Everton stuff's now behind him. The players don't have any ill will towards Frank. Yeah, he's that type of manager, but whoever they bring, if they bring in Enrique, he's that type of manager. If they bring it back Mao, he's that type of manager. Whoever you're looking at next down the barrel of this, he's a Frank type manager. He's just going to tell you how it is. You're going to show up for practice.
Yeah.
Like there is no corporate nice guy. It's just
Well,
I'm excited. I'm ecstatic about this. I'm surprised there wasn't a parade about the hiring for Frank like there was for the firing of Potter.
Probably a dual purpose parade, but I think I'm gonna be different. I think it would be different and give Diego Costa a cameo appearance and a goal just to be like, yeah, I'm part of this whole Chelsea thing as well too. So I'm gonna score a goal and I'm gonna go Chelsea 2-1. Chelsea with the 2-1 victory.